A disaster in this area. Fire broke out. It burnt everything, literally, to cinders. 4 lives were lost. Others are nursing serious injuries. Many others lost property of all manner. So it's been a difficult situation for many of these people, hundreds of them. But I want to appreciate everybody that has been coming through to try and be supportive, including the residents, because the residents, they keep bringing the little they can and so on, connecting with us, the leaders, and we'll keep doing all that we are able to do. I want to appreciate my leader, the Honorable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu President, because he saw this situation and he said, you know what, let's see how we can be of help. So we came here on Christmas Day with a bull, 1,000 kilos of food to try and help the situation. And we'll keep doing the most that we can to assist our people. I reached out after we agreed as leaders, and so we said this situation is a real challenging one. So I did reach out. I called the Minister of State for Disaster Preparedness to say there's a disaster that has happened here. Please come to the rescue of these people. She did promise and said she signed off food and so on, but it's been a couple of days. We are still waiting. I reached out to Redcross through the team leader, Mr. Kwesiga, and he promised that they will extend some help. I want to appreciate them because they have fulfilled their promise. They have brought us kits to be able to help our people who are in a very dire state. So we want to appreciate everybody that has done all they could to assist the process, colleague leaders, everybody that's been doing all that they could do to try and salvage the situation. We still want to remind the ministry, these people are Ugandans. They pay taxes. They are citizens of this country, and so when a calamity like this one happens, we should come to their rescue. We should come to their rescue. And I want to emphasize, and this is something now that have been added a bit of pips. When we return to Parliament, it's one of those issues that I'll table on the floor to say, can we begin to handle emergencies like real emergencies? That's why it's called a Ministry of Disaster Preparedness. You ought to be prepared. When a disaster happens in the morning, before end of day, you have arrived to take help. Worst case scenario, at least the following day. Because the situation keeps getting worse and worse. If you take long, maybe because of bureaucracy, whatever processes and so on, by the time you bring the help, it is not help anymore, it is not helpful. So we must begin to handle emergencies like emergencies. That's what organized people do. That's what organized governments do. You must be prepared. Once there's a situation, quickly take aid. So we'll not stop to remind them because unlike Redcross, which is a different entity and so on, government, people pay taxes. When they're in need of help, do reach out to them. That's something that we shall not stop doing. But otherwise, we want to appreciate the locals for being patient and for working together to see that whatever little is availed, we are able to consume it together so that everybody gets to benefit. That
has come forward to help us, our people here in Wanaluku, those that were affected by the inferno that took place here on the 18th of this month. I'm very grateful, but I must emphasize that the situation on the ground is still very, very bad, still very wanting. We still need a lot of help. Our people are still sleeping outside. They are still suffering the brunt of the rains and the sunshine. The situation is really appalling, and we are calling everyone that can really come to the rescue of people to come and help and do like the Red Cross has done, and even others that have helped us before. We need to appreciate. However, we are still very disappointed that up to now, despite the appeals, relentless appeals that we have made, the Ministry of Disaster to come and help our people, nothing has come through yet. We've not got any help from the government as I speak right now. Many people are affected. They are close to 1,000 people, and they really need help. We call upon the government to come, because this is clearly a disaster. It's a disaster of a very big magnitude. Kindly come and help our people as the government. Then there's a problem. There's also an issue of rebuilding this place. We are calling upon all the authorities to be lenient for our people. Let us be flexible so that as soon as possible structures can be restated, but better structures this time around. They will not use wooden material, but we call upon all the authorities to be lenient, to be flexible, so that this place can be reinstated and give support to our people so that they do their business again, so that they gain their life and live in a good environment.
And they have been waiting for the help, and also the teams that did assessment, because one of the challenges that we face is the differences in figures. For us, if we have a list that has 194 affected people, and there is a leader who has 180, and another one has 170, and then there are those who have 90 and others have 500. So which list do you use? And that's why I would like to emphasize there has been a bit of time lost in the action. For us, our standard operating procedures, they allow us to do an assessment within the first 6 hours. Whether it is Bududa, whether it is Kampala, or whichever area, we have community volunteers and our branches, 51 in the country. We do an assessment, but what is key is that we need to agree on what is the actual situation on the ground, and there is also a validation exercise that is done jointly with the people on the ground, and that's why I emphasize, I thank the authorities on.
Ensonga eno njagalamu obwerufu bw'amaanyi kusa ku byengendo bagamba akakiiko ke twateekawo kyamaani wa kusinna mulabaku alinga ataliiwo bw'aba yanafuwa nga tufuna omulala kuba kyamaani wa LC1 mmemba w'akakiiko naye kyamaani wa LC2 mmemba w'akakiiko ako akakiiko kalina okubeera accountable. Bino byonna bwe bibanga bifunyemu obuzibu ffe tubuuza akakiiko ako teyaffe akakiiko ke twateekawo kwacha maladaga bakawambi bwe bakikibwe mba mwana fiye nga tufuna akalala naye sijja kubeera eri ate njogenda buli muntu nyina kwogera n'akakiiko nadde obukulembeze obutaddewo eyo ensonga tuzetegerekese bulungi saba akakiiko twagala you assemble there and we see you with the chairman of the LC1 and LC2 tumanye nti we mulina abantu babalabe ebintu ebibula bamanye kuba naabuuza babifuna bamanye okwebaza ndoze kitegerekese bulungi. Ekyokubiri list sebo chairman LC1 ndoza go kyalinga kumpi golinga kitingi chairman kwa list mulaba naye list ye y'abantu abafuna obuzibu fenna abakulembeze twatulina okugifunako kopi eyo list tebera ya kyama ate mwandi kitimbyeko nawali buli omu yesomako nti kwali babagandi ontaliiko onaaveemu onaabeereko tegerekese bulungi. So list eyo amangu ddala etimbibwe tugyokyemu etimbibwe wali buli omu asome balabe tulina okuba abeerufu mu nsonga eno kubanga ekyatambula
tukola nga twetegereza ng'ekitongole tukolera wamu ne gavumenti siwengaba gavumenti tukola ne line ministries gamba ng'ofiisi ya ssaba minisita minisitule y'ebyobulamu minisitule y'ekikula ky'abantu wamu n'endala so nga tetunajja wano buli kye tukola kyonna tukolera wamu nabo era nga n'obuyambi obuleetedde olwaleero ofiisi ya ssaba minisita etumanyiiko so nga bwe kitera okuba nga etagazi tukaba ebintu ebitali byakulya so yo neereta emmere so minisitule evunanyizibwa ku bikolwa bitalaze bimanyi bulungi etegeyagwana era nayo ng'erimu nteekateeka okubeera ng'obuyambi bwereeta so tukkiriza nti mu bbanga eritali lyawala bujja kuba bulijjo wabula mukimanyi tutera okubeera nga baffe etteeka mwe tukolera lituwa essaawa mukaaga okubeera nga tukola assessment okunambe tube nga tuleeta obuyambi obusokerwako wabula wabadde wakyaliwo okuŋŋaanya information wali nga tukolamu n'abakulembeze lwaki tuze olunaku olukaaga naye nga tukkiriza nti ofiisi ya ssaba minisita nejja kubeera ngaobuyambi bwetuusa kubanga era emanyi bulungi ekyali wano era nga n'okujja kwafuwano leero